The Reddit Bureau of Investigation is full of personal mysteries, from people asking for help tracking down an old school friend to more serious posts such as tracing the perpetrators of a hit and run. Today's video focuses on a very disturbing voicemail that one user's girlfriend received about 3 years ago. If you generally enjoy true crime, mysteries, disappearances and the occasional conspiracy, please feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. The post was titled, "Discovered terrifying audio from an old voicemail from a number I do not recognise. I am wondering if it was an incident that made the news," and read, "To make a long story short, my SO got a new phone. For the first time she has visual voicemail. A family member left her a voicemail today and when checking it, discovered she had several missed voicemails. She started going through the voicemails, typical stuff, family, bill collectors, but one voicemail dated Friday, June the 9th, 2017 at 4:38 PM was from a number that we do not know. It's 3 minutes long and the area code is 480, placing the owner around the Phoenix, Arizona Valley, maybe. I've spent all day researching news where the incidents happened the afternoon of June 9th, 2017 and have exhausted my very limited abilities in researching. None of our family members or friends recognise the number either. Of the incidents I found online that occurred on the 9th of June 2017, none fit the time frame of the voicemail. Please let me know if I posted this in the wrong sub or if you have any questions. I am continuing to research, particularly how to search the news more efficiently. Edit. The voicemail was dated almost a year ago and was not discovered until today. I will be contacting Phoenix Police to provide them with the audio, timestamp and phone number. I have provided the number to use a satellite cookie. I*67 the number, it went straight to voicemail, just a generic greeting. SO has had the same phone number for 10 years. Unfortunately, the link to the audio recording doesn't work, but that chapter uploaded a small section of it in one of his videos, so I'll play that now. According to the comments on the post, the recording included phrases such as "please somebody help me, I just want to go home," and lots of screaming. Some said they heard hospital machines and the woman shouting for her baby, and the call ended not long after one or two men came and told the woman to be quiet. OP sent the phone number to user Satellite Cookie, who found that the phone number was linked with someone in the Phoenix area with an Asian sounding name, but they couldn't trace a specific address or anything. So you may be wondering, is this a hoax? No one really knows for sure. There were plenty of people speculating either way in the comments. Some were saying it sounded really real and others were saying that it sounded fake. But I don't really think that we can tell whether it's real or not just based on the recording itself. I mean, it could be fake with a really good actor or it could be real but sounding fake. Let's assume for now that it is real and look at some of the possible theories. First of all, as OP seemed to think, could it have been a victim of human trafficking or kidnapping that was genuinely trying to call for help? That would probably be my first thought if I received a call like that, though many people pointed out that it doesn't sound that she actually knows that she's being recorded. Maybe it would have been a pocket dial or maybe someone else was recording her. You'd also think that if she was in a situation like that surely she'd contact the police rather than just phoning some random number. OP as well as other users searched for news reports and cases on Namus to see if anyone could have been the possible victim in this case, but none of them seemed to match. User Coconut Martini, who claimed to be a paranormal enthusiast specialising in EVP recordings, analysed the clip and stated that they believed it to be real and didn't believe that OP was responsible for creating the recording. They detected a split in the recording and suggested someone may have eliminated an incriminating portion. If that's right, it would suggest that someone edited the recording and sent it to OP's girlfriend as opposed to it being the direct call from the victim. Though obviously take all that with a pinch of salt. Anyone can claim to be anyone with any skills on the internet, and without the full recording, it's impossible to verify that. Assuming it was a recording, it could well have been a scam. It's not unheard of for scammers to call people and play recordings like that, either to directly entice money out of people or to just keep them on the phone so that they can reverse the charges and make money from the call. But this was a voicemail, so money couldn't be made from keeping people on the phone, and there were no requests for money in the voicemail, so it does make it seem kind of unlikely that it could have been scammers. Unless they intended on someone returning the call and charging them then, though when OP did return the call it just went straight to voicemail. But considering they didn't notice the call until a year later, it is possible that the scammers might have stopped using that phone and moved on at that point. These kind of scams seem to be kind of widespread though. It'd be very unlikely that they'd just target one specific person, so you'd think there'd be some kind of mention of it on Google or somewhere else on Reddit, but I couldn't find any mention of it. So overall, I do think it is pretty unlikely that this was a scam. Some comments even suggested that the recording was of someone having a breakdown, and maybe they weren't in any actual danger but just believed that they were. I guess it's as good a theory as any, and I guess the hospital machine noises that some people thought they heard could possibly support that, but it still doesn't explain how OP's girlfriend was sent that recording and why anyone would even be recording it to begin with. There are a few things that made people wonder if OP was just making the whole thing up. I mean, if this was a genuine voicemail that he'd been sent, why would he not just go straight to the police rather than posting about it on Reddit? There was an update stating that OP had contacted the police in the end, but you would think that they'd just do it straight away. I mean, maybe they thought that because it was a year later that maybe there was nothing they could do, but you'd at least try, right? In the update, they did state that they were waiting for an officer to arrive and it should have been at some point that day, but that was the last we heard on the matter. Like, OP never responded after that, which again seems kinda strange. Going off the comments, it sounds like OP was inactive for a short while after making the post and the update, but looking at the account now, it was active as recent as 2 days ago, but there's still been no updates whatsoever. So why on earth would they not update this? I mean, maybe nothing came of it in the end, but you'd at least think that they could have just done a sentence to update saying that that was the case. Maybe police told them not to say anything else, but again, you'd think that they could have at least updated just to say that they can't say anything else on the matter, and you would think that they'd maybe be told to delete the post if that was the case. Some people have suggested that OP might have sold their account after it gained karma from the post, pointing out that the writing style seems different now. I didn't go through the whole post history, but I did compare that post with a few before and some of the more recent ones, and I'm no expert, but I personally couldn't see a difference in the writing style. Plus, the post itself only gained around 1,000 upvotes, and he'd had previous posts that had gained around the same number of upvotes. You wouldn't really think that that'd be enough to be able to sell an account. OP once made an Ask Reddit post titled "What are the most stressful sounds you know?", stating that they wanted to assemble an audio file with these sounds playing to give to their girlfriend. Maybe they did create an audio file and sent it to her voicemail, then made the post on Reddit a year later. The Ask Reddit post was 5 years before the RBI post though, but it does suggest that it wouldn't be completely out of character for OP to create a recording like that to prank his girlfriend. A post on the Unresolved Mysteries subreddit analysing the voicemail suggested that user Coconut Martini, who analysed the call, and user Satellite Cookie, who was given the phone number, were all OP just on different accounts. Or that they all knew each other and were in on the hoax. This was suggested partly because the two accounts were created at a similar time to when the original post was made. Satellite Cookie seems to post somewhat frequently, even posting as recent as within the last month, so it does seem pretty unlikely that this is OP as well, considering OP's account is pretty active. So unless OP is really going the distance to make it seem like Satellite Cookie is not also his account, I think it's safe to assume that they are different accounts. And if that is the case, it does lend some credibility to the story, considering that OP sent the phone number to Satellite Cookie. A user who commented on the Unresolved Mysteries post stated that they'd used a program to try and determine whether OP and Satellite were the same person, and according to the program it seemed very unlikely that they were. Despite being almost inactive other than commenting on the original post, user Coconut Martini made a pretty long response to the Unresolved Mysteries post. To cut a long comment short, to say the least, they weren't happy that this had been suggested. They said that they created an account initially to comment on the first post to try and offer some help. They also said that they'd received a few messages from people asking for the recording. They decided not to send the clip to anyone except one woman who believed she might have been the woman in the recording. Coconut doesn't give any more information about this woman, only stating that they were still waiting for a reply. Overall, I'm not really convinced that this wasn't a hoax on OP's part. I mean, I'd like to think that people wouldn't lie about this kind of thing, but it's the internet. People do this kind of thing all the time, and people will go to great lengths for some attention and karma on Reddit, I guess. That said, there's really no evidence supporting or refuting the voicemail's authenticity, so I guess we'll never know. I did try to message OP on Reddit asking if anything ever came of it, but I haven't got a reply yet, so I'm guessing they might have just decided to leave it in the past. If I ever do get a reply though, I will be sure to update you. I guess there is a chance that the woman who contacted Coconut Martini might be the woman in the recording, in which case I don't know what happened to her. I mean, it sounds pretty bad, but I do hope she's okay and at least she's alive. But there's no way to know whether or not she was the woman in the recording, so I guess for now the voicemail remains unsolved. Sorry today's video's been a little bit shorter than normal. As you're watching this, I'm currently away for the week, so I had to film 2 videos and edit and research and everything all in the time that I would have done one. So I've scheduled it to upload on Thursday. I'm hoping that that actually works. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Thursday in a new video.